So, so we worry about, are we doing it too early or too late? They don't really worry about that. I told you that I think if you're going to have to make a decision, it's better to make a decision where you feel it a little bit too early than to wait until you're in a crisis situation. And it's more expensive if you got to go to the overnight vet and do it at midnight, right? And B, it can be much more traumatic for you. And then for animals, they want you to be happy. They don't want you to suffer forever about them. And mostly for animals, they don't um they don't want for you to think you can never get another animal. In fact, most of them, and it pisses my clients off sometimes, but most of them are coming over going like, it's time, time. And people are like, I loved him so much, I can't do it. Now, I don't think you always have to do what your animal tells you to do from the other side or in person. And if you are not ready to get another animal, you should not. Okay, you don't do that. But there is this belief system, and I think it's been perpetuated by social media, that I can only ever have one soulmate animal in my life. That's BS. You can have more than one. But if you do go and jump and get another dog or cat or horse like this, because you're just wanting something else to love, you do run the risk of not listening to your intuition and finding the right fit. I mean, has everybody on here had multiple pets at one time?
Oh, yes.
Okay, most of them, right? Now you love all of them. Yeah, you love all of them. But like there might be one who's a little bit your favorite, which is terrible to say, but has a easier connection with you. Um, I have also seen people, and I think maybe I was guilty of this years ago too, of like continuing to add animals to my house until I found the soulmate. So if you cannot afford multiple animals, don't just go run out and get another one. But hear from me that your animals want you to be happy. And further than that, when they are on the other side, even if it's not their job, and it's not many of their jobs, but they have a much bigger awareness of how many animals are out there in shelters or rescues or abandoned, that they think need a good home, and they know already that you are a good home. If you're on this call, you're a good home. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And so they think you have plenty of love to give, right? And number three, how do we resolve guilt and grief for ourselves? Right? How do we move beyond that? Well, number one, I'm going to give you a tip for when your animal is still alive, but they're getting you close to death. You can do a ritual very similar to what we're going to do today here. And if you don't have a candle and you don't have a picture of your animal today, that's okay. Just duplicate what I have done here when you can. Okay? Um, but if you do have an animal who's living that you know is soon to pass over, I think it's a wonderful thing to have a party for them, and they love it. They love for you to just have over their two or three favorite people that they are crazy about. And even if they're sick as anything, they're just tired and sick, but you sit down and give them something that they love to eat, that they will still eat. You light a candle or you bring out a few presents, a special blanket, and everyone goes around the room and tells their favorite stories of Snoopy. They're like, and it's a nice exit for them,
Yeah,
and it's
what I
also,
that's
yeah,
what I have planned for Tucker.
you're going to do that for Tucker. So Tucker is passing away Tuesday, Wednesday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so what is it that you've planned for Tucker? Tucker is a horse, by the way.
He's a great, great big horse with a spirit as big as his horseness. Um, he requested flowers.
Yeah.
So I ordered a bouquet of flowers that's coming on Monday. And then I'm going to take the flowers and I'm going to put them in his hair, in his mane, and maybe his tail if he can tolerate it. They don't tolerate that sometimes. And then the people that are there, me and another person, and the vet and my dog Wiz are all going to be there, and we're all going to have flowers. And he isn't at the point where he wants to eat very much, but we're going to have treats for us to eat and something to drink. And that's our party.
Yeah, but you make sure you tell him all the awesomeness of Tucker, okay?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes. And you give him a big old hug from me.
I
Okay.
will.
Yep. So that's a nice thing to do. And then if you feel as though you made a mistake, you know,
Mm.
feel that you made some mistakes with your animal in how you cared for them at the end or didn't care for them at the end, I'm going to help you with that today. So there will be very specific words that I say today, which allow you to start to release some of that guilt and pain. But if that doesn't work, if you find that that doesn't work for you, I would like you to go get some stones from your backyard or from the street, those stones, put them in your pockets and carry them around for as many hours as you can carry them around until you feel slightly uncomfortable. And then I want you to sit in your backyard or wherever you can, the park, and I want you to take each one of those stones out of your pocket and put it down and say, I recognize and I have paid my penance for what I believe I did wrong with you. I'm putting this stone down. And maybe you have 5 stones in your pocket because you think there's 5 things you did wrong. That's okay. But every time you put the stone down, I want you to truly imagine that weight lifting up and out of your body and let it go. Secondly, there's a lot of people who have an animal die and then they want to spend the next 2 months hibernating, seeing no one, doing nothing, and curling up in a ball in their house. I feel ya on that. When my next two go, I might feel like doing that too. But I want you to get up and move your body because grief gets stuck in the body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even if all you can do is walk, you need to walk.
Can I curl up for an afternoon?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying you're not. I believe it's very normal to cry 5 to 7 times a day for 3 or 4 months randomly. Right? It's random, Amanda. You can cry as much as you need to. Okay. Amanda just lost a kitty of 19,
Oh,
19 years, I think, this last week. Yeah. So it's very hard. Um, But if you don't move your body, same thing goes with anger. If you find yourself running around with anger, I was angry. People on this call can imagine, can attest to the fact that I was angry the other day. I just ran into so many things at one time in my life, but also in people's choices with animals that I was like, oh, we have to think more. Like, but, but but that's okay. But I had to get up and move my body. And I'm not a mover. You guys know I have cerebral palsy. I can't really move a whole lot. But if it gets stuck, so I need you to move, right? And then the final thing I would say is it's fine to grieve for 3 or 4 months pretty heavily. But if you go beyond 6 months with a big grief thing, um, and you're still crying randomly at the drop of a hat all the time, there is something else going on with you. And your grief for your dog or cat or horse is substituting itself for something else you're not uncovering.
Tucker would be really pissed if I cried all that time.
Yes,
He'd be like, get your ass out of here and get moving.
right. So I want you to consider that. And in that case, talking to a psychologist or a counselor would be very helpful because there's something else that that grief substitutes for.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you don't miss that animal, but maybe that animal is, maybe you've become quite isolated since COVID, or a lot of the rest of your physical family members or friends have passed away and you feel kind of lonely, and the animal was your best friend. Well, now we have to find a way to have you re-enter human life. And that can be very scary. There can be lots of reasons for it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not equipped to give you that information. But if it goes beyond 6 months, please see someone professional. Okay. Are there any questions about this or about grief in general for animals? And if not, then I'm going to put us into meditation next.
I just have a question really quick about um, it was a cat that I lost about 4 or 5 years ago. And the process of euthanizing him was scaring him and agonizing for him, so that I was like shaking and crying and telling the vet, "You can't do it that way. He's scared. He did it that way anyway." And my poor cat was dehydrated, so the needle in his paw was excruciating. And I keep reliving that over and over and over again.
Mm.
I don't know how to get past that.
Yeah, that would be very difficult. Yeah. Um, So I had a similar experience where my dog was at the vet while I was on a holiday, and I had debated whether I should put her to sleep before the holiday. My mom took her in, and unbeknownst to me, she came home with a wrapped bandage. And when I came home, I saw this wrapped bandage, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, okay, it's, they had to put an IV in her and then they took it out. So it's just healing. I'll take it off tomorrow. And I ended up putting her to sleep the next day at my home when I came home. And that vet unwrapped it. And then there was actually a shunt left in where they were expecting my mom to come back in and put her to sleep because my mom was such a basket case that they left that in. And I felt extreme guilt about that, that I didn't know that that was in there or that it was causing her discomfort too. And believe it or not, the veterinarian didn't even need it. The home veterinarian didn't need that to put in the medicine to put her to sleep. And all I can tell you is I'm sorry that that happened. I know that your cat doesn't blame you for it. I'm sorry that that was her last bit of experience of life. But that too is kind of a karmic lesson for you. And part of the way in which that cat died means that that's never happening in your life again.
Hmm.
Right? So
Right.
no other animal for you, and you will tell that story to 50 people. So you'll tell them, make sure you know what your veterinarian's process is for putting to sleep and don't accept less than that. Do you think I'm ever not going to question my veterinarian's blood test results ever again? Or if I feel that my dog needs an ultrasound, that I'm not just going to go do it, whether they said I needed it or not?
Right.
No. No. So see it as a lesson and drop the goddamn rock.
Okay. It's one big heavy rock
Right. But you're choosing to carry
to
it.
carry it. Mhm.
And your cat would not want you to.
Right.
Yes. Steve and Cassandra.
Yeah, hi. We lost two dogs back to back.
Dog and cat.
A dog, no, 12
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
And we went to a grief support,
Mhm.
and basically Cassandra's still going on Zoom.
Yeah.
And what they helped us to see was that most of the problem was ours, which you touched upon. And you're 100% right. It's because we thought we did something wrong, even though there was nothing. They weren't sick right before. It seemed like they just went quickly. And now, in the last month or two, we've had a 23-year-old cat pass, and we've had a dog
19.
who we just found out was 18. And it was so fast. It was a heart issue, and there was nothing we could do. And I mean,
History repeats itself.
history seems to repeat itself, but the animal psychologists that we still see we're going to see her again on November 17th. She said, the thing you have to remember is gratitude.
Yeah.
You have to have gratitude for what you have, what, the time that you spent with them and what you had, not,
Yes,
not what you don't have anymore. And
yes,
it's very hard.
it is very
Everybody
hard.
knows here. It's a
Well,
very,
and also you've had it back to back within 2 months.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's a lot, and they're older animals that have been with you for a large chunk of your life at
Yeah.
this point, and so it's very, very sad. So you can consider it a double bookend of grief. So it wouldn't be surprising that it would take you longer, and be a little harder. But I need you to go back to point 2 of my presentation, which is, as much as we don't like it that they're not angry that they're dead, they just want you to go, dust and done, that was fun. How can I enjoy my life today?
yeah. Animal psychologists told us that they understand and accept it. We don't.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That's right. That's right. I have a lot of gifts from becoming and investing in becoming an animal communicator. But the biggest gift for me is I don't over grieve my animals, which I'm sure to other people looks as though I'm callous. I don't feel that I'm callous. I miss them. And I do cry for about 2, 3 months. I cry off and on. But I can also see them, right? So Finn is with me right here, right now. Finn's right over here, right now, watching all of you and so proud that he's a good boy now and he can just help me out. And my dogs who have passed earlier, they're still with me um and they're always with you. And then the other thing we say is like people feel like, what if I'm not special enough or psychic enough and I'm not getting signs from my animals? Shouldn't I be getting more signs? There are some animals who are really good at sending you signs. And then there are others who are just like, well, I'm there. I'm there. I don't know why they can't see me, but I'm there. And or I come, so I want to kind of resolve that stress for those of you who are like, well, he hasn't visited me yet. Well, I don't dream. Like once a year do I have a dream that I remember. And I'm intensely visual and pretty psychic, right? But I don't dream. So my dogs are not coming to me in a dream, right? And I don't always feel them around. But I want you to kind of think about this idea that when you think about them, you kind of draw their spirit to you. When you think about them in a spirit of love, you can almost guarantee that they're in the room with you. I'm pretty much dollars to donuts. I'm surrounded by animals at this moment, and they aren't all mine, right? So all those cats and dogs you've just lost, they're with us today, and they just love it. I mean, it's a little bit egotistical, but they're all thrilled that you're doing this today and going, hey, remember me, this is fun, hey, yay. So just think about it in that way. And thank you for that, Steve. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah.
In that movie, Lucy, somebody said, I'm not ready to die yet. And she answered, and it was very cryptic, but she says, nothing ever really dies.
That's right. That's right. I don't think, like, we're just not here in physical form. We're still connected, right?
Yeah.
We're all still connected, and when you call upon them, they'll come. Some people even like to think of them, and they are often, I feel, like on your spirit team. And so some people have a really hard idea or don't really know what they believe about God, if there is a God even, but they really believe in that cat or that dog or that horse that they really loved or the hamster they really loved, and they felt that connection. So you can always work through source energy. I like to do that because I don't want to create, this gets into spirituality. I don't want to create a karmic bond with one particular soul or one particular animal that means that we've got lifetimes to pay each other back, if that makes sense. But I will ask source energy to come through me. And if it could work, if source could work through my friend Finn to help me see what I needed to do here in this meditation today, for example. right? I have notes about this meditation. I've done meditations like this before. I'm not sure what's going to come out of my mouth, but I sure hope Finn's going to help me, right? Um, but by asking for source to connect me to my friend, I recognize godliness in Finn. Does that make sense? Like, because it was a tangible physical presence that was loved me. And that can be easier than this kind of amorphous, what is God, right? You're God, you're God, you're God, you're God, you're God, I'm God. We're all God. And so are your animals. So if you feel you need their help, sometimes you just can go like, look, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay the light bill. Can you help me out? And sure enough, some money might come in the mail. Okay, with that said, if there's not anything else, I'm going to move us into a little bit of meditation, and then we're going to light some candles for our animals. Do you have pictures of your animals? Did everyone have something of their animals? Even if you don't have a picture, you have something of them? Okay, that's great. So for everybody who signed up, see, I said there was room for 10, right? And I took 40, and there's 13 of you. Those of you who run a business, Serena, soon, just know, 3 times three times, right? That's exactly right. That's exactly what I expected. So it's great because we have time to each say the 1 or 2 animals. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put you in meditation. Then I'm going to light a candle for all of you to be able to be released of grief without you having to do anything, like just for spirit to help us with that. Then we're going to light a candle for our animals. And if you so choose and want to, I'm going to have you choose. Now, we all have had several animals pass away, right? So I'd like you to choose the one animal who has died the soonest. Yeah, the most recently, I guess I should say. And then the animal that is your soulmate that you still remember the most, if those are 2 different things. Okay. Because we don't have time to list the 15 animals that we have and we'll forget, right? But you can think of all the rest as you are saying that. And then we're going to each repeat with each other, whatever the name is, we remember you. And you're going to say it out loud. You can turn off your camera if you want to, but there is resonance in, as a community, honoring the grief and the love of another person in the community with the name of their beloved. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so I'd ask you to kind of close your eyes and get comfortable now. And bring that, if the picture of your animal is near you, you can bring your animal picture near you. Look, I'm going to show you because I'm going to move my camera over here and move the 75 names of animals that were sent to me over. Okay, can you see my altar there? Yeah, can you see it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, okay. So this is Finn over here, right? And this is my darling Sylvan, who died many years ago. But she was deemed so beautiful as a Sheltie that she was put in a tarot card deck. So somewhere out there, there's a tarot card deck with my Sheltie on it. I don't have the tarot card deck, but she was there. And then this is, I'm going to put this, I know, look at me, how many years ago? That's my soulmate dog, Jace. And that's my piece as a puppy right there. Okay. So they're all up here with us. And you should, if you don't have your stuff set up today, just go home and do this later. So now I'm going to just run a meditation with you. And I would like you, I'm going to turn myself around so I'm on my little bed with my living doggies who are 14 and 16. There we go. And then we'll turn around and do the camera after that. All right, so close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And I want you to imagine that you are just sinking into the earth. You're melded into the earth. And then I want you to kind of straighten your posture just a little bit, not to make you too tight, but to like put your shoulders back, tilt your chin in. Imagine that your head is held up by 30 helium balloons. And I want you to loosen your belly muscles and I want you to loosen your pelvic floor. Imagine your skeleton kind of loosening up just a little bit. And I want you to become aware of the sights and sounds around you. You can close your eyes, but if you could open your eyes, what would you see around you? What would you feel around you? How does the clothing on your back feel or around your waist? What do your fingers feel like when you rub them together? What do you hear? Uh, how do you feel kinesthetically? Can you smell anything in the air? I just did some incense to clear our space, and you should know that I have created a circle for all who are watching this and all who have signed up for this today, and it will be in existence for 24 hours, and then it will melt away along with all the ritual we've done in here. And become aware of what you can hear, taste, sense, see, smell, know. And we're going to strengthen our intuitive information. I put my hand over my heart and I ask for my intuition to be open and for me to be open to any signs from my animals that may come to me right now. Breathe again. And as you breathe again, I want you to imagine spiritual energy. I call it yin or feminine energy, which is cool and dark. Um, and in typical spiritual ways, we think of that as cool and dark and watery, coming up and moving through our body and our entire aura system, which is about 6 to 8 feet around your body if you're healthy. So you're going to move that up and through your body. That intuitive strength and the receiving of love is more open and open and open for you. And it stays circulating. You don't have to do anything. You've just called it up. It's always available for you. And now it's moving through your system at a steady pace. Imagine the tension leaving your body, your neck loosening, your heart opening up. Maybe the grief and the sadness overcomes you and some tears are falling down. That's all part of that emotion that you're letting come to the surface. And we ask for pain and release from grief and guilt as we do this. And then we take another big, deep breath. And we become aware of the solar energy, the masculine energy, which is golden color like sunlight. This is active work. And this is actually what you are doing today is participating in active work to release the grief that surrounds you and the guilt that may surround you as well. And you move that active energy through your body and through your aura. It flows down over you like a warm blanket, like sunshine near a beach. And it melds beautifully all the way through your system with that blue light you pulled up from the feminine energy and from the earth, melding together and filling you with Christmas lights, just lighting you up. Beautiful. They meet together in your heart center. And then we're going to imagine lighting the rainbow within us, which starts with a crown chakra, which sits just kind of slightly above your head and is ultraviolet in color. We're going to open that crown chakra to receive spiritual messages from our animals. And then we're going to move through to the third eye chakra, which is between your eyebrows and slightly above your eyebrows, which is indigo in color. We're going to ask for that to be open. And if you really want to take it an extra step, you can imagine your own eye looking out from your third eye and looking out at spirit and at whatever intuitive information you need to receive. Breathe that in. Very good. You guys are opening that up. That's good. I can feel that. And then we move to the throat chakra, which is turquoise in color. And we ask that we're able to communicate better and more clearly our needs and our wants to our animals and to the people around us. Open, open, open. Beautiful. Open. And then we're going to move to the heart chakra and we're going to open that heart chakra. And we're going to imagine it as a beautiful green light, right? It's beautiful and green. And maybe you see shards of glass in this part. Maybe it's stabbed with grief. Maybe it's not. And maybe the animal has been passed away for so long that all you have is a beautiful picture of that animal in your heart that you can see, that's always there, and that it owns a piece of it. And you can just say hello to it. But in whatever way, I want you to open your heart chakra to send and receive love, both to the animals you are missing so deeply and also to the other people in this Zoom call today who are also missing their animals. And then we go to the solar plexus chakra, which is kind of in our belly region, and it is yellow in color if you're not familiar with it. And we're going to ask that that be open because that is our sense of self in the world. And if part of our self is being damaged by this belief that we were too late or too little or fed the wrong food or didn't go to the veterinarian enough, that we missed some sign with our animal, all of that sits in that sense of self and also in the heart region of grief. And we want to release that sense of pain and give ourselves back our self-awareness because our animals want us to love ourselves and to have a wonderful time in life, and they do not blame us, right? And then we're going to move to the the sacral chakra, excuse me, which is just below the solar plexus chakra. It is orange in color. And we're going to open that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. I'm still doing it for you, and it's only safe. Everything that we're doing today is safe. We're filling it with beautiful orange healing light so that we can be in alignment and our spiritual, physical, and mental bodies are all together. Right? And then we move on to the last chakra we're going to talk about today, which is the root chakra, which is our sense of personal safety in the world, which can be really threatened when we feel like an animal died um, unfairly, inappropriately, too early, or in a bad situation with the vet. And we're going to ask that root chakra to be cleared away and cleared of negativity and filled with beautiful ruby red light. And now we're going to go now we've awakened that rainbow within, and we're going to go to far above, to whatever you believe as God. And we're going to say, Mother, Father, God, please surround us with a cylinder of white light that protects us and keeps us safe and the animals in our life. Only divine light is allowed in here. Only goodness and light and good messages can be allowed in here. And open my heart and my mind to be able to receive and feel and send love to my animal companions, both who are here present and the ones who are missing, who have gone before us. It is so hard to live with the grief and the loss that I feel. Now, if you want to take your imagination one step further, if you can sit quietly for a minute and send out thoughts of love and welcome to your animals who have passed. It can be one, it can be 20, it doesn't really matter. Invite them to come into the circle with us and send them thanks and joy. And if they have any messages for you, I'm going to be remaining quiet here for a few minutes. see if they have anything to say to you or tell you, or just see if you can kind of feel them in your lap. And if you can't, that's okay. Please just imagine your heart connecting to their heart and send them love. Even if your senses are not that strong, you will still be accomplishing, because intent is everything, the same, and they will feel gratitude for your honoring of them. So just quiet down now and open your third eye and open your heart. And if you want to open your eyes and look at your candles or look at the picture of your animals, you're more than welcome to. And just see if you feel that love. Some people just feel a little spiritual hug, and some people get an actual message. And you can say whatever you want to them. They will hear it all. You may continue to commune with your animals should you want to. And if you feel them, or even if you don't, you just keep talking to them. And I'm going to turn this thing around, and I'm going to light a candle for all of you, which will remain lit in my house for 24 hours. Mother, Father God, please keep in your care all the men and women and on this call, and all of the love for this and their animals, which this green candle represents their love. Please send it to their animals, and please heal their hearts, because some of them are very broken for what they have to do or what they've just had to do, or for animals who have died many years ago, and their grief is still strong. It is unfair that we miss them sometimes more than they miss us. It is unfair that some people get an easy death and some animals get an easy death and some animals do not. Please release the grief and the guilt and bring only the love and provide them with peace in their hearts. True peace in their hearts, because everything is as it should have been, and everything has a lesson and a purpose. And we have to remember the love. Amen. Amen. And that candle will stay going for you overnight. And then we're gonna light a candle for our loved animals now. We're gonna light a candle for our loved animals now. And I'm gonna say the following. To all the animals who are beloved by the people here today and who are watching this on replay, please be with us now. And please know how much we love you and miss you. And we want to remember all the good times. So thank you for the running. Thank you for the playing. Thank you for the times you got in terrible trouble and made us slightly mad, and how you would look at us and smile and it would all be okay. Thank you for providing comfort and joy and fun and connection. Thank you for teaching us what it meant to be unconditional and to be loved unconditionally. Thank you for showing us that animals have souls and feelings and personalities and differences and strength and will. Thank you for being ours. Thank you for taking care of us. We remember you. And if you can, please visit your families tonight. Now, you should, if you can and you have a candle, and if not tonight, then when you can get a candle, you should light a candle for your animals at your home and keep it on in a safe manner for as long as you can. Do not leave your house with a candle on, please. And just do the same as what I just did. And what I'd like to do now with our candle lid, our candle's lid, or my candle lid, I would like for you to each choose an animal who has died recently, and maybe an animal who is your most beloved or your soulmate that you miss, if there are two of them. And I want you to say the following. My name is,
My name.
and
Oh,
no.
sorry.
My name is, and the two animals I would like to mention today are X, who was the most recent animal who died, and so, who was the one that I miss the most, perhaps right now, or who I miss deeply. And then we are going to all say those names, so keep note of those names, right? And then we are all going to say together, for example, Diesel and Bentley, we remember you. Okay? All right. So we have it. We understand. And then once I'm done with that, I will close with a brief meditation about loosening the cords. I don't want you to cut the cords with your animal. I would never do that. I don't even actually believe in cutting cords generally. We're going to kind of loosen. If you want to, we're going to loosen. You don't have to partake it if you don't want to. Okay. So who would like to start?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Higgins and Sam.
Higgins and Sam. Okay. Everybody with me. Higgins and Sam.
We remember. And
We
Sam.
remember.
We remember you.
We remember you.
We remember.
Remember you.
Thank you. Okay. Amanda, would you like to go next?
Sure. So I'm Amanda, and I would like to remember Joey, who just passed last Monday at 20. And then who I do believe was my soul cat, and then another cat, Mittens, that passed 25 years ago now or so. But
Okay. And while we're saying the two, even if you've lost 10 pets, you can think about all those other names too.
yeah, they're all in there. There's a lot of
Yeah, they're all in there. All right.
Joey and Mittens.
Joey and Mittens. So together, Joey and Mittens.
And Mittens.
We
We remember you.
We remember you.
We're not doing very well at getting on unison, people.
It's okay.
We're doing our very best.
It's the thought that counts.
Joey and Mittens, we remember.
We remember you.
Okay. And then Alicia, would you like to go?
I'm Alicia, and I'm gonna cry.
Okay, babe.
I'm Yoshi. He passed away in January. Actually, we saw you in May. My mom and I.
That's right. I remember. That's right. Okay. And tell everybody what Yoshi looked like.
He was an English cream golden retriever. An all white
Right.
golden.
Okay. And maybe we can all do that. That might help us visualize and send the love to that animal. Say what they looked like. Okay. Yoshi,
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
we remember
We
you.
remember you.
We remember you.
Okay. And Steve and Cassandra, who would you like to mention?
Dog was the one who just passed away, and then these are two that were very special to Cassandra and I,
Aw.
Cha-Cha and Bella.
Cha-Cha and Bella. Okay.
Bella.
Repeat after me. Cha-Cha,
Cha-Cha.
Bella,
Bella.
Bella,
We remember
Dog.
you.
we remember you.
We remember you.
Okay, good job. All right.
We're trying.
Marisa.
Choir 8.
Marisa.
Oh, moi, yes. Bubba and Scout.
Okay. And Bubba looked black and white, is that right?
Correct.
And
Yes.
Scout looked cats. Cats.
Scout was kind of tiger striped.
Okay.
Strange that they were siblings, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Repeat after me. I'm going to start with Bubba. Bubba, Scout.
A
Bubba
Scout.
and
Scout.
We
We
Remember you.
We remember you.
Who have I missed? Sarah, have I missed you so far? Yes.
I'm Sarah, and I'm missing my black cat Ruby. She was a little black cat, and then my big gray cat Gus.
Okay.
Ruby and Gus.
What was your gray cat's name?
Gus.
Okay.
Ruby and
Gus. Oh, Gus is so happy to be remembered right now. Dancing over here. Like, yeah, look at me. Look at me. And then Ruby just rolled her eyes. She just went, oh, there he goes again. Okay. Ruby and Gus.
Ruby and Gus.
We remember you.
We remember you.
Perfect. Okay. And then Heidi.
Yeah, we lost our silver tabby 2 weeks ago. Thomas.
Thomas, is that right? Yes.
Yeah, he had lymphoma. And then I feel like my soul cat was Sunshine. It's been a few years since she passed, but she was a long-haired calico and she was just a little diva. I just loved her.
They
My girl.
almost always are, those long-haired calicos. Almost always. You want a diva in your house, get a calico. You're almost getting.
No, everyone was angry because she only liked me, but she was my girl, so.
There you go. That's what everybody I've ever known who has a calico says. I don't care if she likes me. She can hate all of you. All right. So Sunshine.
Sunshine.
And Thomas.
And Thomas.
And Thomas.
We remember.
Remember
For you.
Okay, Serena.
So I lost Bentley, who was my big oversized cream golden retriever, who was definitely my soulmate, and his brother from another mother who passed away a few months before him, and he was like sort of like a orangey chow with like a little black face like a fox, and his name was Diesel.
Diesel.
Okay, so we'll start with Diesel and then Bentley, and I'm gonna say the word and then you repeat Diesel after me, for example. Diesel
Diesel.
So
and Bentley.
And
And Bentley.
We
we
remember.
remember you.
we remember you.
Okay, thank you very much.
We're getting better.
Yes, we're getting there. I think I'm missing some people and I can't see anymore. So, but I know there's more here. So how am I gonna get past my screen here? Let me see if
There's Michelle and Priscilla.
And Julie.
And Julie.
And somebody else.
Marilyn.
Marilyn.
see if I
Oh,
can
Marilyn.
view. I'm on gallery view, so I should be able to see everybody. Okay, all right. That maybe is working a little bit better. Hopefully, I can see more now, so hopefully that's good. Okay, Marilyn, would you mind to say the names of the animals that you're missing? Marilyn?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrong there. My name's actually Marianne.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm missing Spice, a golden lab, and she was a wolf hybrid lab mix, and also a soul animal that is also the one that passed the most recently, and that was a hair sheep that she was only 4 months old, and my niece named him Curry. So
A little sheep, is that right? A sheep?
Curry, little sheep, hair sheep.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Oh, he was a goat.
Okay, so Curry, and what was the first one again?
Spice.
Spice.
Okay, so, okay, Spice
Spice.
Spice
and Curry.
And
Curry.
We remember you.
We remember you.
Remember you.
One, two, three from now on. And then Priscilla.
Okay. I'm Priscilla, and my soul dog was Corky. He was a Welsh Corgi. He was 14. This is him. If you can see that.
Hi.
He was my best friend for 14 years, and I miss him.
We missed the lumping of him. He was a big old heavy lump on your side all the time. Little fat little sausage dude.
Mhm. Yeah, he
Okay.
was a loaf.
Yeah, it's a little loaf. I have one that we just call the lump because she just comes and, whoop, and you're just like, okay. All right. So is it Corky or Corgi?
Yeah,
Okay.
Corky. He was a corgi, but his name is Corky.
Same time.
And how long ago did he die?
October 12th.
Okay, so sorry. Okay. Together, Corky.
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 We remember you.
Remember
Good
you.
job. Okay. All right. And then is there anyone I have missed? Yeah. Michelle, did I miss you or no?
You're muted.
I'll go ahead and tell you about Jesse and Jules. Can you see?
Yes, I can.
Sort of. I have no idea. Jesse was 16 and Jules was 14, and they were buddies and just happy little Yorkies.
Okay. I love those names. Okay. So Jesse and Jules. Jesse
Jesse
and Jules.
And Jules.
And
Jules.
We
We
We remember
Remember
you.
you.
Okay, beautiful. All right. We haven't missed anybody. I haven't forgotten anybody. Everybody's in. right?
Me too, Kara. I have to go.
Who?
Julie, sorry.
Go
Julie.
ahead, Julie.
So my more recent departed cat, his name was Zippy. He was a buff color tabby. I would call him my soul cat too, but also the first cat I had in my life was named Candy. He was a tuxedo cat. To the point that the day that he died, my watch stopped and fogged up. So I think that was just such a deep connection that I wasn't present for it, but he found a way to me.
Okay. Now, Julie, can you say the names again? Because I couldn't quite catch it.
Sure. The first cat was Zippy, Zippy, and Candy, like candy, trick-or-treating candy.
Are they girls or boys or what are they?
Boys, boy cats.
Boy cats. And what they look like, so we have a memory.
Zippy was a buff colored tabby cat,
Mhm.
and Candy was a black and white tuxedo cat.
All right, both boys. All right, ready? Zippy,
Zippy
and Candy.
and Candy. We
We
remember
We
you.
remember you.
Remember you.
Okay. All right. So the candle's going and the candle has flickered almost every time we've said someone's name. So I think they're all here with us. I don't know, has anybody felt anything or seen their own candle flicker or has anything they want to ask before I do the next bit of meditation?
If you don't mind, I wanted to say something to Priscilla. I had a Welsh Corgi, and there was two types. There's the Pembroke, which is the one you had, and also they had the Cardigan, which was a black. But I had a Pembroke, and he when I went away to war in 1968, he must have passed around that time. I didn't see him when he came back, but his name was Corky. Also.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I love that.
I think that's pretty cool that you're on this call together. Maybe his Corky is your Corky. You were supposed to meet. You don't know.
What a wonderful dog.
So that's also I kind of think your Corky's way of coming back and saying hello to you today.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a fabulous, they're fabulous dogs, but they're all fabulous, all the animals.
Corky number one, we remember.
We
Um, we remember you. Okay. All right. So now the last thing I'm going to do before we leave, and you can also, because you have that white light that I put around you when we started, if you choose not to do this because it frightens you or you're not ready to loosen that connection a little bit, that's okay. You can reject anything you don't like or want, right? And this is not to cut you loose from your animal. You're still going to be able to connect with them. But for those of us who are carrying those heavy rocks in our heart and in our bodies, this may help just a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and remember to be centered again and put yourself into postural alignment, shoulders down, chin in, belly loose. You take a couple of deep breaths. And then I just ask that you take a few moments to focus on your heart and the beating of your heart. And you see that love that you have for those animals that has passed and the sadness maybe that's weighing you down and the grief. And I just want you to ask for your God to remove some of that sadness, to let it go, to open a chamber of your heart and see it streaming out and leaving you. And you might even feel or know that your animal who doesn't want you to carry that grief is picking up that grief for you and transmuting it in heaven or the other dimension to just energy, positive energy. So they are taking it from you because they want you to have a happy life now in your physical body, right? And as we see it sit with our grief and our pain and our love, we slowly let it deflate like a little bit of a balloon. And we imagine the silver cord around our heart that is connected still to in the other dimension to that animal we are missing or animals we are missing so much. And we see them connected. But even though we see them connected, we are going to ask if the cord can just be if we're holding it too tight and we're thinking about it too often and we're crying so deeply, we're going to ask that that cord be loosened, just loosened, so it can be a joyful thing to pull on, like a kite that we used to fly when we were kids, or a balloon that we hold instead of a weight between us and that love. And we're going to also, if that animal still sits very heavily in your heart, we're going to experiment now with this idea of moving energy in and out, right? So think about that energy of that grief and that animal that you love, but the way you're holding it as sadness instead of joy, right? And we're going to say, I love you. And in your mind, think about your animal and say, I love you so much. And I miss you so much. Think about that love, feel that love surrounding you, right? And how much you felt about them. You might think about how you sat together, the things you did together. Imagine that deeply. And then I want you to experiment, if you're willing, with the idea of gently moving that energy of that animal out of your heart, out of your space, so that you can start to feel the separateness of you and your heart as clean, and that energy that contains grief about that animal outside. Right? And almost you are separate, but still connected with the silver cord. So we can bring that silver cord back in as well, right? But they're not sitting right heavy on your heart. Now, as an experiment, if you have done this exercise, I want you to notice how it feels now that you kind of removed that energy and they are a separate entity from you, right? And then I want you to bring it back in again. Bring it back in. And remember, this is only if you feel you're still feeling kind of immense grief. Those of you where it's been 20 years or 5 years and you're pretty well adjusted, you may not feel this at all, or it may feel different. That's okay. But if when you brought it back in into your awareness and into your heart center, you felt more heaviness again, I want you to experiment with sending it back out. And again, there's nothing to fear here because whenever you think of that animal, you can still do it, but always being held by that little loose silver string, like a dog that you can walk on a loose leash instead of holding them so tight that you're holding them and the energy is tense. Because what we want to do is remember them with joy. And yours is to do what you wish with this, to keep it, to try that exercise more, to not do it if you don't. But I want you to remember that what your animals want is for you to live in joy. For you to live in joy and to get rid of the grief. And so then I'm going to end with this prayer. Mother, Father, God, please be with everyone who is on this call and who is watching this replay today. Please allow them to release the grief in whatever way suits them best, release the guilt in whatever way suits them best, and to live their highest good and their highest joy. And let them know with certainty in whatever way they will understand it best, with whatever intuitive powers or physical signs that they may receive, that their animals love them, do not blame them, and are there for them in spirit. Amen.
In his name, amen.
I hope that this leaves you feeling slightly better about your animals and about what you have done for them, and to release grief or guilt. I don't want you to carry that, and they don't want you to carry that. Okay. And if you have any questions about any of this, you can write me an email after the call. And if you if you haven't received it, you should have received it already. You should receive a coupon. You should have received a coupon. So if you need to have another session, either for a deceased or a living animal, it gives you a significant discount. If you have any questions about animal communication or how to learn, you can also let me know that.
Thank you, Kara.
Thank you, Kara.
Thank you, Kara,
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Be
Guys,
well.
have a wonderful dinner. Be well. Enjoy your lives. Have fun. Even if you don't feel like it, go have fun. Go for a walk. Walk that grief out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.